The VO Meter, measuring your voiceover progress. Whether you're a veteran voice actor just starting out or don't even know how to set a level, we're here to help you avoid the pitfalls along your voiceover path to success. The VO Meter is brought to you by Voice Actor Websites, Vocal Booth to Go, Global Voice Acting Academy, JMC Demos, and Sennheiser. The VO Meter is produced in part using Source Connect, made by source-elements.com. And now, your hosts, Paul Stefano and Sean Daly.
First of all, the audiobook community I have found in just investing in it in the slightest way and sort of dipping my toes into social media and making a little bit deeper connections. And certainly coaching has opened things up for me in terms of the number of people, what they're doing, the kinds of work that they're doing. So, yeah, I think that where networking and marketing may not have been as important in the early, first decade even, now I feel like it's absolutely necessary. And it's not my natural habitat at all. I'm actually I'm not a shy person, but I'm shy about that. There isn't anything that makes me more nervous than going to, say, an opening night reception after I've done a show in the theater. That makes me very, very nervous. I'm not a good salesperson of myself. It makes me uncomfortable, as it does for so many narrators and actors. Mm-hmm. So I have to hold my own feet to the fire on that and really hold myself accountable. And I do think, Sean, that it's changed. I just think that certainly with the amount of independent work that's happening out there, narrators really creating relationships with authors. And I love that. There's a different kind of autonomy there than sort of hoping, being in touch with the big guys and making sure that you stay on their radar and hoping for the best, which is really how it is with the major publishers. There's something quite wonderful about saying, I like that writer and I know that their stuff hasn't been recorded and I'm going to go get it. And I'm going to have a relationship with this author and I'm going to be a part of this process from start to finish. I think that's really quite wonderful. I'm so excited when my students talk about doing that and making the work happen for themselves. So yeah, I think the networking piece has drastically changed, and I'm only just understanding the necessity of it, and not just the necessity, but the rewards of it, right? Really, the FaceTime, for instance. I've never been to the Audio Awards, even when I've been nominated. And I just was too busy working, right? I just did not create the space for it. So now, since I've been coaching, when I go to APAC, I'm doing 2 workshops at APAC. I'm so excited to lay eyes on people that I've just been communicating with electronically all these years and on the phone. It used to be we would get on the phone with people, right, Paul? But yeah. Not anymore. It's all email. And so I'm super excited to actually lay eyes on those people, and certainly to wrap my arms around my students that I've just been Skyping with and so often wish I were in the room with.
Yeah, it's great that the industry is so rewarding. And like you said, that's probably the best part. I just recently did a book where I landed on ACX. It was actually a cold offer to me. But it turned out, again, I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but the guy's wife was from Frederick. So we, when he was in town for the holidays, the author and I went out and had coffee with the whole family, he and his little daughter and his wife. And we met in person. It was the greatest thing just to have that connection, which I didn't really plan to do. I wasn't asking him for any more work or trying to get him to refer me to anybody. It was just a nice way to meet the person who I'd spent all this time going back and forth with to make sure I got his work right and have that conversation.
Yeah. I love that. And there seems to be a different dynamic with authors because, of course, if you're doing generally the books that I do, I don't have much contact with the authors. That's changed, too, with the advent of the internet. So it used to be that you would go to your author first for pronunciations. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they knew most of them. And then you'd go into your hard copy dictionaries of German or Latin or whatever. And it seems that and that was sort of your entree to a conversation with the author. And you sort of got to know them that way. It's just changed now. A lot of times I get a list of pronunciations for a book that I'm doing. So I really have no contact at all with the author except to be inside of their book. And I think there's that little piece. I wish sometimes it really does feel like it's missing. So I love that you got to have coffee and sort of just be in that. You get so intimate with the work, right? It's a deep connection, hopefully, to the book that you're recording. So I love the relationships that I have with the few authors that I have them. I truly do. I'm grateful for them. So yeah, with the advent of ACX and people independently publishing, it just seems that there's it's just that the industry is changing drastically, radically, and I'm excited about that. I think that's quite wonderful. I also think it's wonderful that it's opening up and that people have an avenue to become narrators and get those titles under their belt, so that they can sort of then keep working and support themselves. Anything that will help an actor continue to do their work and be paid for it is a fantastic thing.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the VO Meter. To follow along, visit us at www.vometer.com.
We'd also love to hear your comments or suggestions for the show. Or if you have a questionable gear purchase, tell us all about it on our Facebook page or on Twitter @the VO Meter.